We have a question.
Oh.
Is opinion taking airtime away from fact-based reporting?
Yes. Of course,
16 ways he's going to leave you. The summer looks that are in at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about now. It's all about, because at the end of the day, they're businesses and they've got to make money. And if they make money from us clicking on dumb articles, they're going to post more dumb articles. And if we, the people, would click on smart stuff, then they would provide us with more smart stuff. Which is why, again, I don't really blame the media so much.
I don't think it works.
Because I'm like, it's, well,
it does.
If they posted a climate change article and did really well
the whole time.
But say they did a climate change article, for example, that really hammered it all home, right? And you and me and everybody else here, we all, and the rest of the New Zealand, we all really loved it and we shared it and all the rest of it. Okay, well, next time they're going to go, shit, climate change. Right, that's something that people care about. Let's do more stories about it, right? But we don't, we see it and we go, oh yeah.
So you're blaming the audience for the lowest common denominator shit journalism. You're saying that that the reason this stuff is shit is because
we consume it.
Because people read it. So
it's
could you reduce that? So, for example, the Sun newspaper, which makes a massive living out of horrible xenophobic bullshit. People buy it and read it, therefore it's a good idea.
No, I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it makes money.
Therefore it's the fault of the readers.
It's supply and demand, and we're demanding the product. And the product we're demanding is 14 ways he's going to
so what if the product was
climate change?
What if the product was a really anti-Semitic, racist, horrible lot of shit that people read that? You blame the people who read it, not the people who write it. Because that's what the Sun is. I blame the people
that buy it. Yes, I blame if you go into the gas station and you see a newspaper and it's a disreputable rag and you pay money for it, you are directly financing that media, and so it's your fault.
Right.
And they're just making money. So I write a story.
On the part of the person who writes.
Of course, they're all bad. Don't get me wrong, they're all bad.
No one's really done a sample either. No one's actually tried making a newspaper that wasn't shit. And it's quite hard because news values themselves are inherently flawed. They're based on, is something negative? Is it violent? Is it proximate to the people around you? The news itself doesn't exist to provide a picture of a world. It exists to sell people with sensationalism. And that's pretty much across the board. Even the more quality newspapers, they basically, and have for many years, run on a kind of tabloid setting. Terrorism, that's massive. People love terrorism.
Yeah.
The only reason terrorism exists is because newspapers report on it. Newspapers make money out of terrorism.
Yeah, and then more terrorism happens and they report on it.
So they're the people who are responsible for terrorism, because if they didn't report it, it wouldn't happen.
See, I am feeling a chicken and egg scenario though. Like the people need to start demanding more, like you were saying, in order for the big boss to go, actually we might have a niche market for a different kind of news, which is why I found it really interesting. I refused to click on the articles, like 16 ways to leave it, because I'm like, you're not getting my
Did you click on it?
Oh gosh, no.
But I was like on the comments. I love the comments, because the top 5 I like to think are the ones that the New Zealand Herald kind of looks to.
Yeah.
And the last, top few are usually along the lines of New Zealand Herald is bleep. They should give us more bleeping news on bleeping climate change or whatever.
Yeah.
So I do think that there is a push coming from
and it's good
readers.
Yeah.
But I think New Zealand Herald's problem is that they're not listening to it.
Well, look, I mean, I think because
we're still clicking on it and they're still making money out of it.
We're not paying for the content. So I think some of what's driving, at least the opinion-based stuff, is that it's cheap to produce. It's really easy to get somebody to write an opinion piece. You give them however many hundreds of dollars, however many hours it takes. Whereas like long form, well-researched, thoroughly thought out journalism takes weeks, months. Yeah. And some of the pieces that come out of it are stunning. But like, who's going to pay like however many dollars a month to access nzherald.co.uk?
Yeah, no.
But also, I think that they're running scared. Like, they're providing a really, really shitty product, and you can go online and get something much better. And so, and the same with TV. And so they've got two options. They could try and make something good, or they could double down on being shit. And that's clearly what's happening. They're scared, and they're like, okay, we need to be more sensational, more opinion based, more bullshitty, and unfortunately I think that's the tendency. But the reason is that their bottom line is shrinking. Like I used to read film reviews, reviews of TV shows, stuff like that. In you read them in a newspaper. They're normally reviews. They give you a star rating. They have someone who doesn't really understand or care about the thing giving a very glib and very black and white, is it good or is it bad? And then you go online to something which is totally free, and you've got someone who really loves and understands the shows and knows all the details. And so you've kind of got much better stuff happening in an online space, and then you've got the people that own the larger media companies running scared. So I feel like they've got to get worse because that's their only option at the moment. And at some point there might be a crossover where they go, oh fuck, being shit's not working for us.
That's not a long-term business plan that's going to work. You know, like the long-term business plan is ride the wave.
Because the Herald has got even worse, hasn't it?
They need to employ the guy. They need to employ the guy that loves it and is writing the thing.
I do think that the tendency of the media to devolve into opinion is it's going to continue because they are scared. I mean, they know that their money is just going like that. And it won't stop.
Interesting question then. Should the government sell TVNZ and start over with state broadcasting?
I think it's kind of nice to have this idea of television that's for the people, that's not actually about money. It's not about driving revenue. It's not about getting its income from advertising. It's about telling us a story, and they don't make any money. It's all paid for with our taxes. You know, and I'm okay with that. You know, that's it can be the most unbiased platform then.
Have you ever seen the BBC Television Centre? It's a beautiful, the one in just off Regent Street. It's a beautiful Art Deco building, and it's got the Reithian doctrine, which I think might be carved in there. But anyway, that was William Reith, who is one of the early BBC guys, and his motto, the whole company ideology was to inform, educate, and entertain in that order. Inform, educate, entertain. Yeah. So I guess there is a sense that it's swapped at some point.
It works better. It works better that way because if you start entertaining people first, then it leads into education. You know, if you start educating them, they're like, oh, fucking boring.
Well, I was going to ask how we thought New Zealand media had done in the lead up to the election.
This election?
Yeah.
Ooh, I've got some gripes, naturally. I found it really funny, peculiar, not funny, the way that the Winston Peters scandal, the scandal of the century, or the mother of all scandals, has been handled, especially in the aftermath of Materia Ture, because like no equivalence in what they did, and totally different treatment, where everyone's just like, oh, you know, from the information that we have at hand, it seems like what Winston did was probably all right. And they leave it at that. Yeah. They leave it at that. And it's like, wow, okay, so...
Why do you think that is?
Paula Bennett said...
Oh, that's going to...
Paula Bennett, interestingly enough, said when asked... They said, no, they asked her, they said, so have you ever cheated on the benefit? And she said, I've never knowingly cheated on the benefit. That means she's cheated on the benefit. Like, if you say, I've never knowingly cheated, that means you have cheated. This is the only way you cop out. So no one's followed that one up with a pack of wolves, have they? You know?
She's got so many cease and desist orders on people. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
So why do you think the two were treated so differently then?
Well, the people who own the paper have got... connected with the National Party, or they share that ideology in a
or they own a home,
or they know that their superannuation is an entitlement.
It tends to swing right because that's sort of the direction that's kind of steered in by the people who kind of own it. It's a gentle pressure, you know. It's not like you have to. It's like, just what about a blue cover to the paper on the day of the election? What about a blue cover with the thing saying John Key's going to win? How about that? That's not biased, is it? That was the front page of the Online Herald the day before the last election was Key going to win, and it was blue. So there's always going to be an institutional bias.
The hidden agenda.
But on the other hand, because they love celebrity so much, Jacinda's married to a good-looking DJ, is good-looking, isn't boring. They keep putting her on the front, and they'll do all of the leaders, and then they'll put Jacinda's face ahead of Bill English's, and it's like they can't help themselves because they like celebrity women thing, so that they've actually been giving very good coverage to her. Like
we click on it.
Yeah.
Because
to your point,
because she's a hot young politician with a hip young boyfriend
who's challenging the status quo.
So I think she's got very good coverage so far. They haven't tried to destroy her yet. They destroyed Toure, but they haven't gone after her at all.
Yeah.
Why do we think that is?
Because we click on it.
She's pretty. She's celebrity. She's famous.
She makes it personable, especially for younger people who don't come from the classic white, national farming / business / commerce backgrounds, I think.
I mean, that's why I like it, but I don't think that's why the Herald want to put on. I like it because she's cool.
Yeah.
But that's not why they're putting her. They're putting her because she's like Princess Diana or something. She's a celebrity face. But looking at the coverage and breaking it down, I've been stunned. I've been like, quite frankly, Jacinda gets more pictures and a non-negative coverage out of the Herald, and I'm stunned actually. I keep going, this is good. Keep putting her face. She might win if you keep putting her face in the newspaper.
Waiting for their backlash from that, aren't you?
Yeah.
When they suddenly go, oh, we haven't presented it.
Yeah.
50-50. Oh, we'll just swing completely the opposite way.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Look, I reckon that the media is actually a tough gig. It's actually really tough. Like it is a tough job to give everybody's opinion and give an unbiased opinion on everything. It's a tough thing. They've got to select stories that are going to work or not work or whatever. And I think that they are actually doing a pretty decent job overall. And it really comes down. I really sincerely blame the audience because I really, really believe that if we didn't click on that shit, they wouldn't give it to us.
I have so much hatred.
Added me to the list.
So much hatred for the toxic effect that the news media has on society. I genuinely think it's the cause of fucked up prison system, the fucked up drug system, the military industrial complex,
terrorism,
the terrorism existing. I mean, I feel like I understand why, and why these things happen, why it is how it is, but I think it could be better and it should be better, and I think it will have to get better.
I think it will get better.
And I think we're all agreed that there's probably going to be a corrective tendency by the internet. But personally, I seethe with anger at the injustice and hypocrisy of it. There you go. So that's a
I think we're half on the same page. We're mostly on the same page.
Yeah, I agree. Just not as angry.
I think there's a lot of improvement that needs to happen, and that also needs to come from the audience. So we can't keep buying into all of this drivel that keeps coming out and then kind of on the other hand say, oh, but we want quality news, we want valid criticism, we want to know what's happening in the world. And I think the internet has been a great democratizing tool in a lot of that, but also the ease of access and the not paying for anything, and the news websites having to rely on clickbait articles to generate an ad revenue absolutely cheapens the whole process. So they're not doing their job great, and neither are we as consumers.
See, I kind of agree with elements of all of yours. I reckon the attention cycle of sorry, I just did a public policy paper, so I'm all about that attention cycle. I reckon the attention cycle of the average Kiwi bloke sitting on Facebook scrolling through and sees a New Zealand Herald article, I reckon that is where the change is going to have to come from. And I do feel like you were saying with the internet being a corrective function on the kind of whimsical powers of, or dominating powers of standard news media, and I do reckon the internet's severely going to change how that all happens. Do you guys remember Video Easy?
Yes.
The people who invested in video shops and how they've just lost all of their money because Netflix has come out as the new biggest craze. I kind of see the internet being the Netflix in that scenario, where the internet's just going to blow all of their assumptions out of the water and realise they can't actually go on the way they have been. So that's the hope anyway.
Happy times.
Okay, well, we are out of time, so speak easy, friends.